What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video from Pink Tourmaline. And this video is going to be a little bit of a divergence from the content that I've created thus far, although, of course, it is still on point with the general objective of this channel, trying to identify and unearth the purpose of life. And again, I think that's going to be an individual purpose from person to person with general overlapping themes. And those overlapping themes are, I'd say, in general, to try and be positive, try and be loving, caring, empathetic to each other, just spread good vibrations as opposed to negative vibrations. I would say in a nutshell, that's kind of it. But each of us individually in our lives, depending on our progressions as souls, as energy entities, we might have different particular objectives in this life, from person to person. But I do think in general, since we're tied around these, we're kind of strung to these general notions of compassion, of caring, of connection, of relationships, of working on relationships. I do think there is a problem in our society that is affecting our ability to live our lives correctly and to navigate the issues that we need to navigate to learn appropriately. And this comes down to cell phones. And I wanted to make a video about this because I've really been noticing it take more and more of a hold of society. And this is not just everybody else and not me. I'm saying including me too. I can feel it. I feel an urge a lot of times that I have to fight when I'm walking on the street or I'm in public to grab my phone and take a look at it. Oh, wait, maybe let me send a quick thing. And I have to actively tell myself, specifically when I'm at the gym or when I'm just walking, like normal things, like hanging out with people, not to pull my phone out, to try and experience what's going on and just being in the moment. But it's a problem because I think it's become a subconscious addiction that most of us aren't aware of. And because we don't really look at it as a major problem, we just give into it. I'll give you a quick example. Today when I was at the gym, actually every day when I'm at the gym, if you look around, it's pretty scary. And I'm not talking about, this isn't even kids, these are all adults. But you look at the adults around the gym, if they're not actively lifting, every single person, almost every single person is looking down at their phone. It's insane. Nobody's looking around, having a conversation. Very rarely, everybody in between sets is on their phone. This was a worse problem at my previous gym where people would actually be on the machines for like 15 minutes. I'd go and do 9 sets, 3 sets, 3 different exercises. So 9 sets total. I'd come back, they'd be on the same machine, just scrolling through on their phone. It's like, you know what I mean? It's crazy. So this is a problem that I really started to notice there, especially. And then I don't know if it's gotten worse or I'm just more aware of it, but I feel like it's both. I feel like I'm more aware and it's definitely gotten worse. And I think it's a problem that we as a society need to address because it's going to be affecting all of our individual abilities to lead a productive life. And by productive, I mean on a spiritual level, and to work on things and connect with people in the way we're supposed to improve, to be better as spiritual entities. So I just did a quick search on this and it says, I just asked, hey, are phones really becoming a problem? And I just want to read through this quick AI result. Obviously, there's probably, I couldn't find any recent articles, which I was surprised, but this is what it says in AI. It says, the constant use of smartphones is seen as a societal problem that can negatively impact relationships, mental health, and engagement with the real world. Like, right? That's case in point. You're on your phones when you're walking. I mean, I feel like that's going to be outlawed soon. This is because phone use can disrupt face-to-face communication, lead to a decrease of enjoyment of experiences. That's because of the dopamine hits that you get from your phone. So it's almost like more exciting, I think, to see a social media message pop up or get a notification or an email or a text from your phone because that's how we've now been wired versus maybe what we tend to expect in just real world interactions. So it can also create feelings of being disconnected from one's physical environment and the people around them. It makes me think of that movie Ready Player One, where they're talking about the oasis and everybody's in the oasis. They said more than in the real world. That's where people hang out. That's where they make friends. That's where you know what I mean? And it's like becoming that way, except for we're not putting a headset and immersing ourselves in a virtual environment. We're just doing that by looking at our phones. Maybe that's about to happen with these glasses, AI glasses, meta glasses, etc. It's wild. So how smartphones create problems, though, they damage relationships. They make people feel less connected. Again, I truly believe that a big part of our purpose in general, tied around our individual goals, is being connected, is being linked to people and other entities and other souls, having communications, maybe having disagreements and being able to resolve them. I think it's all part and parcel of why we exist and incarnate on this planet. Reduce enjoyment. So this is again can decrease a person's enjoyment of social interactions because it lowers engagement. I also think because you get addicted to that dopamine hit from the notifications or the pings, and then things in the real world might seem less exciting. Mental health effects. Constant connectivity can increase anxiety and stress as people feel compelled to check notifications frequently. Like that definitely happens to me. And as much as I know you're not supposed to do this, I still do it. Maybe I need to break that habit, but I still wake up and check my phone first thing in the morning. I'm working on getting off of my phone at night. I'm doing a lot better by implementing reading, and that's part of this channel is helping me with that, because I like to read the books that are related to spirituality, NDEs, etc., at night before I go to bed. So that's my disconnection from the phone. However, lately I found myself still going back on my phone. I'm just fighting the addiction. So it's almost like I had a period of time where I wasn't looking at my phone at all after finishing reading. And now I've kind of gone back to that. So that's just maybe a bit of a roller coaster I'm on right now as I'm trying to fully separate myself from my phone at the end, but still working on it. Impact on children. So of course it's going to really affect children, I think even more so, because at least for my generation, we got to have full immersion, at least as far as like what we consider full immersion, school, right? No cell phones, no devices, etc. And now it's being introduced. I imagine it's probably more of a problem for kids that are just accustomed to communicating this way. And then it gives some suggestions on how to manage it. But again, coming back to this idea of, if you are here and you're finding this channel because you're also looking for an explanation perhaps of why we're here, what we're supposed to be doing, are we on the right path? And I do think most of us are probably on the right path, or if we're not, we're going to get some course correction. But I do think that for the most part, we're probably all doing pretty good, better than we think. Okay, even though sometimes we might beat ourselves up. But anyways, whatever even if that is the case, I do think that if we should try and be conscientious as a society about, at least when we're out in public, at least when we're walking, when we're at the park with our dogs, when we're out to dinner, obviously, all these different things, at the gym, try to stay off of it and re-immerse ourselves in the real world. I think that's going to have a positive impact, not only make us feel happier. I'm not just talking about happiness in this life and all that, but I'm talking about help us actually live and experience life, because I think that's why we're here. We're here not so we can disconnect and just be somewhere else mentally, emotionally, but be here for the good, for the bad, enjoy it, deal with it, and take all of that as valuable learning lessons and learning experiences, so that we can achieve what we're supposed to achieve during this one lifetime, during this particular lifetime, right? And that's what I got to say about that. So I know it doesn't exactly tie into all my study and research of NDEs and hypnosis accounts and all that stuff, but it is tangential. It is actually pretty directly related to what we're all trying to do here. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. This is the perfect channel and platform I felt to do so. So there's my 2 cents. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you guys also feel that this is a real problem, that this is getting out of control and it's scaling up very rapidly? Or do you think maybe it's not such a big deal? Hey, people are on their phones, but they're still socializing, and I'm perhaps blowing it out of proportion. But you guys let me know. I maybe have become overly sensitized to this issue because of my frustrations at the gym and just people dilly-dallying and not doing anything. So I will admit that is a possibility, but I'd love to know your thoughts. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining. Like I said, I'm having such a blast with this channel. I'm really enjoying it. So thank you, everybody who is stopping by at this current time. I really appreciate it. And that's all I got for you. And I will see you in the next video. Take it easy.